xanthan gum. It's used in gluten-free baking, but it could also be used in frozen blended drinks to keep the ice and the liquid from separating as it melts. So I want to do a side-by-side comparison of one drink without it and one drink with it and see if it's actually worth mixing in. This is Walmart brand. That's where I was able to find it. It's in the baking aisle next to all the odd powders. Just last week I did the classic daiquiri. This week I'm gonna do a frozen passion fruit daiquiri, the opposite end of the pretentious cocktail scale. I've been working on this recipe for a few days. Came to something that I think's pretty tasty. It's gonna make a 15-ounce drink. I'm gonna make one for myself because the two later are gonna be sacrificed to science. I'm gonna use a large Collins glass. It's 15 ounces. And to blend it up, I'm just gonna use a Ninja blender. So I'm gonna mix everything right in the cup. This is a large drink and has large amount of alcohol. I'll start off with 1.75 ounces of simple syrup. And yes, that's a lot, but when you have a frozen drink, you need a lot to mix in with all the frozen water. So this is definitely not a diet drink. And then it's 2.5 ounces of white rum. I'll be using Plantation 3 stars for this one that I'm drinking. And 1.5 ounce passion fruit liqueur. I'm using Chinola. It's from Dominican Republic. And it's 1.25 ounce fresh squeezed lime juice. And last, it's 8 1-ounce very cold ice cubes. The xanthan gum. All it is 1/8 of a teaspoon. And if you're not familiar with baking or how small teaspoons are, this is tiny. So can this little tiny amount make a difference in this drink? And I'll just blend this up. So this is a drink that you can imagine yourself drinking on a beach. It is sweet, but it's not as sweet as you'd expect with how much simple syrup's in it. It's because it's mixed in with a lot of water. You can taste the rum just slightly. I would say the passion fruit is dominant, but there's also the lime in there giving the acid. Very good. So I'm gonna make 2 more simultaneously. I'm gonna put them in these hurricane glasses. One will have the xanthan gum and one won't have the xanthan gum. And we're gonna see over time how they melt. The only difference between what I just made and these ones is I'm not gonna use Plantation. I'm gonna use the Trader Vic's lower end rum. So I'm gonna blend these up and be right back. Okay, this first one has xanthan gum. Blue is with xanthan gum. Okay, so this one without the xanthan gum has the advantage of being blended about 2 minutes after the first. All right, no xanthan. It's pretty warm in here. It's 80 degrees Fahrenheit right now. So I'm gonna just let these sit and melt without touching them, see what happens. Right now at the very beginning, there is no liquid on the bottom of either and just very slight liquid on the floating on the top. All right, it's been about 15 minutes. They're both still holding up pretty well. The side over here without xanthan gum, the sides of the glass are still frozen. The sides of the glass with the xanthan gum is liquid. Now at the bottom of the straw here, there is some liquid, and I don't see any here, but there is a little more liquid here at the top. I will just continue to let these melt, see what happens. All right, this is about 30 minutes. And now there is a big difference. clearish liquid on the bottom of the one without xanthan gum. What's weird is the sides of this one is still frozen up here on the ice. Here it's just liquid, but it is a little more liquidy down at the bottom, but it seems to be holding together a little better. So it's now about 1 hour and there's a huge difference. This looks like a chunk of slush floating on top of some mostly water, I would guess, maybe the alcohol. And over here, it still looks like a slushy drink almost. Pretty wet on the bottom though. And there's something weird going on with the foam over here. That does not look tasty. I will let these go a little longer. I'm surprised there's still some ice in after an hour. We'll see how these turn out. It's been about 2 hours, and this one without xanthan gum is not very tasty looking right now. There's still a slight amount of ice in there. The one with the xanthan gum got about the same amount of ice, but everything seems more mixed together. So it does actually do something. I think with a large drink like this, it is worth it. Because something like this is probably gonna take you 20 minutes to drink, and this is cheap. 5 ounces from Walmart was less than $6. You can make about 300 drinks with $5, less than 2 cents added per drink. So totally worth it. See you next week.